Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today. I'm very excited about today's video. Today, we have the pleasure to interview Barbara Boschen. She's one of the most diverse people that I know that sells on multiple platforms, such as Jett, Walmart, eBay, and Amazon, she has a lot of expertise. She has over 20 years of experience in in business and in online business and finance. She's the co-founder of Co-Merchant. Is a very amazing tool that automate the process for you to be able to allow you to sell from Amazon to other platforms such as Jett and Walmart, and so many other features like EZKey, which is we're going to talk about today. And in today's video, you will learn how to sell on Walmart, Jett, and how important it is to diverse your business and to make sure that you diverse it in case something happens in Amazon, which is, I think Barbara, she's very familiar with that. And we're going to talk a little bit about it. So Barbara, thank you so much for accepting our invitation, and thank you so much for allowing us to interview you today.
Oh, you're so welcome, and I'm so happy to be here. I love, Amazon has been a huge thing in my life. I come from a corporate background and worked like 80 hours a week, and I was just like burning out so fast. And I thought, well, how am I going to get out of this? How am I going to find some other way to take a step back, or maybe I'll open a Dunkin' Donuts. I didn't happen to have a $500,000 like just sitting there waiting for me to use, so that didn't happen. But I ended up finding Amazon, and that we had done a little eBay before that, but Amazon really allowed us to scale and really allowed me to like escape corporate land. The first thing I ever sold were used stuffed animals. They were my I started selling my kids' toys, and then we would find them I would go to a garage sale, and then I said, all right, I'm really going to try this out. And I would go to rummage sales and buy like these giant garbage bags full of stuffed animals. I'd clean them up, I'd sanitize them. They might have cost me, it's like the best margin ever. Didn't really scale, enough to cover our mortgage and all that kind of stuff, but was great extra income for, ballet lessons and ski trips. But I would buy them for like 50 cents and sell them for $15. And, as long as you were it's a great place to start. As long as you're careful to, like, if it's in great shape, you say it's in good shape, etc. I think for a lot of people that was like, for me, it was really a low risk, low cost area to prove out that this Amazon thing, 10 years ago, actually was viable. So it's been pretty cool. And we've since then gone to eBay, Walmart, Jett, Etsy, Bonanza. Most recently, we have our own Shopify site, and most recently Google Shopping. So we're trying that out.
Wow. See, when I say you're the most diverse people that I know, it's true. I never see someone that sells on these multiple platforms. I don't know how you manage it, honestly. I don't know how big is your team, but it's really impressive, really impressive. And, the humble beginnings are always something to remember. And I think a lot of people, when they see that, at what level you are in right now, they know that you started from nothing, or you started from little things, experiencing a little retail online arbitrage. Is exactly what I did. I come from, a background of engineering, but I couldn't find a job in that position. I was working car wash, construction. I was doing pumping gas, but I heard about Amazon, and I started with retail arbitrage, and that's what opened the door for me. And me, I didn't sell stuffed animals. I was selling my wife's books and my old video games. I started with that. So it's really, 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 it's very dear to my heart when it comes to retail online arbitrage, which has opened the door for me for private label, which is now we very excel at it. Do you mind if you tell me what made you transition into Jett and Walmart, and why did you take that route? What happened to you that made you go to those kind of not very popular marketplaces that people are used to?
Right. So about 5 years ago, Amazon suspended me. They called it the Great Robo Suspension. I don't know, like it was 2014 or 2015, but basically they changed something in the algorithm, and hundreds and hundreds of sellers were suspended. I had done something wrong. I was selling counterfeit soap, which I obviously was not. I was buying it in TJ Maxx and reselling, because we had moved to retail arbitrage at that point. And at that point I had 15 shoppers. So, we're moving in stuff, out, selling stuff, getting more stuff, is constantly churning. And when I got suspended, I was like, oh my God, at any moment this can be over. I have a finance background, and the number one rule in finance is diversification. And I completely overlooked that. And so, I'm knocking on wood here, but I don't ever want it to happen again. But it was the best thing that ever happened to us and our business, because we immediately started looking at other marketplaces. My business partner, Brian, is also from corporate America. We met when he would see me shopping and coming back at lunch and go, doesn't your husband get upset that you shop like every day? Your car's full of stuff every day. I'm like, ski trip, ballet lessons, summer vacation, college tuition. And then he started doing it. And when I started doing it full time, he came on a little bit after. But since he was in corporate America and he had the background in software, he's like, I think we could not only, there weren't really many good alternatives at that point to sell on. And the first one we started with was Jett, because we saw that as a huge opportunity and model. It's changed somewhat since then, but at the time, they had this great thing with this whole upsell track. So you could buy one bar of soap, but hey, wait, you could get another bar of soap for a little bit less, and another, a cross-channel thing, like say you could get, oh, wait, we'll also sell you a pair of pants, right? So they would do all this kind of stuff and keep you huge. So he said, if we're going to do this for ourselves, because the only viable options at that time were like $1,000 a month, this was 3 years ago, then we could probably do it for other people. So that started a whole journey for us into other software, into diversifying onto other channels, into doing other business models, because I was 100% RA. And at that moment I said, I've got to find something more stable. And we started looking at wholesale.
Wow, this is really, really awesome. So now your business is exactly, you're doing wholesale mostly, or do you do also private label?
We do a number of different models, and a lot of them were born out of my frustration with wholesale. So we do a little bit of RA still. We have one store left that we pretty much go to maybe once every 3 months. We go in and pillage the place. And we do wholesale, but a lot of our wholesale is all exclusive. So we are one of 3 vendors, or we're the only seller of that product, or we've talked to the vendor and they've made us what I call branded private label. So we'll go to them and say, hey, I see you have a red and a green one. Could you make me a blue one? And of course, and it's we also do some private label as well. So we're in a lot of different things. Again, with that I've taken that diversification thing and just gone like crazy. It's just like the queen of diversification or something like that. But basically trying to find ways to carve out space where we're alone, or where we can differentiate ourselves, where we don't have all the noise of the, this price going to the bottom, or people, attacking our listings. A lot of the products we sell are not ranked in the top 1,000, but they're ranked in the top 5,000, right? Because that's a little sweet spot. Because if you're under 1,000, all of a sudden everybody else wants your space. And if you're over 5,000, 10,000 is pretty good too. But if you're too high up, then you're not selling enough. So we try to work in that space if we can.
Oh, you have a lot of sourcing power and you have a lot of convincing power, especially when you have exclusivity with wholesalers. It's very difficult to do. And actually, we have exclusivity. You're basically like a private label because you need to take care of a lot of keywords. You need to do some PPC if you had to, especially if the product is not moving. So how do you go about that? How do you convince them? Because a lot of wholesalers, they don't like Amazon sellers because of that. Race to the bottom. They lower their brand value. So that's why a lot of wholesalers, they don't like Amazon, or let me say, inexperienced Amazon sellers. So how do you go about that? I know we're going off tangent here, but I'm really curious how you do it.
No, I mean, it's huge too. So I go in person. So I will, if I can get even, I've actually driven to see manufacturers in person, or I get on a plane and I go to a trade show, and I've made that sort of a cornerstone. Everybody's like, wow, it's so expensive to go to a trade show. You've got your hotel and you've got that. And, well, I live in New Jersey, so I'm right near New York City. So, that's just really a train ticket for me. But I do go to a lot of other trade shows as well. And when they say we don't want to sell, we have enough Amazon sellers, I'm like, yay. I get so excited because I know that they say no. I'm like, this is a challenge for me. This is an opportunity. And I'll say like, well, tell me what the problem is. Like, I said, we've been selling on Amazon for 10 years. And they said, well, everybody cuts the price. I'm like, we don't do that. We like to sell for more than MAP. We call it MAP Plus. And they're like, MAP Plus? I've never heard of MAP Plus. I was like, well, yeah, because Amazon doesn't charge shipping. There's that free shipping, but we still have to pay for it. So it eats into our margin. So if MAP is 20, we like to do around 24, not gouging. We don't want to destroy the brand, but, we are, is a convenience. You've got a lot of, and they're like, oh, okay. Well, we have enough Amazon sellers. We don't need any more. And I'm like, well, if you give me another 5 minutes, we operate a little differently. We are not sellers. We're marketers. He goes, what? And it's like, well, we market products. So we take all the copy and we rewrite it and we make it compelling so that the customer is not just seeing a 12-ounce, jar of hand soap. It's something that's cleansing and moisturizing and we try to appeal to them emotionally. They're like, oh, okay. I said, and we also do images, and depending on how we invest in a product, we'll do video, we'll do everything. We're acting as a partner to the brand, not just a seller. We don't want to go find new brands every 6 months. We want to start working with you on your new product. And then hopefully, we can bring your brand up, help you do enhanced brand content, help you build out more on Amazon to use it as a marketing channel and not just a place to sell stuff. Wow. Usually, I've gotten kicked out one time. The guy wouldn't care what I said. But usually, I get to open an account and start working with them with that.
Wow, because you know what? That's the biggest obstacle that any wholesaler or any brand that they have is basically to marketing their product. And I think even Amazon sellers themselves, they have this aspect of the business that's really hard for them because they don't know how to speak to emotions. And I always tell our group, and I will tell it through the YouTube channel, I always tell them, hey, you're not selling a product, you're selling emotions, right? So you need to be able to translate that. You're not selling a cream, you're selling a solution to a problem that exists, and you need to make sure you tap into that emotion and letting that person feel that. And it was like, hey, I can picture myself into that
right.
problem, and I'll be able to solve it. And I've never heard MAP Plus. I heard MAP pricing, which
I made it up.
But it's actually, you throw them off guard. It's like, hey, MAP Plus, what's that? And you'll be able to do all that. And it's actually, this is very interesting because you're not only becoming a seller, you're becoming a partner, as you said, and that's built a big relationship, which is really, because you're investing a lot of money, I believe, because if you're doing the images, you're doing the keywords, you're doing the optimization, and you're also doing enhanced brand content, you can do private label as easy as you can. You want that route because already available and you can replicate it very easily. That's really, really impressive. And that's the first time I hear about MAP Plus, which is very, very, very good way. When you went to ASD, you went for that purpose, to find wholesalers?
When I went to ASD, I went to actually speak about how to optimize listings. And then I was also on a panel. But in August, there's ASD and Vegas market. So I spent a little time at ASD. It was a really short trip, unfortunately. I wish I had like 3 or 4 more days. But we spent a little time at ASD, and I actually talked to a couple private label vendors. And then we went to Vegas Mart, and I talked to a lot of my current vendors. Also picked up a few that told me, the one I was just talking about, when he said no, they literally said no new vendors, no. But after I spoke to them and told them how like we could do merchant fulfilled and do customization, or we could do this and we do bundles, and we try to merchandise, not sell more stuff, but merchandise your brand in a way that would be appealing to customers. And he was very interested. So I believe we opened an account last week, but so I'm really excited. So that's why.
You don't get the no as an answer, which is really awesome. You just persist and be able to make it. And
it's just a challenge. That's what salespeople say. No just means I haven't answered the right question or asked the right question yet.
This is really, really impressive. You know what? We can go into wholesale. I know it's not the subject of this video, but I love wholesale. I love those tactics that you talk about. I haven't done it as big as you did. I have done it really just at bare minimum, just to make sure that I make enough money to be able to get in private label. But maybe, one day we can talk about a lot about wholesale and tactics. But I would like to move into, again, to Walmart and Jett, because I think a lot of people underestimate Walmart and Jett. And I think a lot of things changed from last few years back. And now it's really different because they're becoming competitive. They want to compete with Amazon. And a lot of times before, they had a lot of barrier of entries. And now it's been changed. Do you mind if you tell me how you compare Walmart and Jett to Amazon? What are the differences? What are the advantages? Why you like it the most? And anything you would like to tell us more about Walmart and Jett?
I think Walmart, and well, let's start with Jett because I can pretty much wrap that up pretty quickly. They in the beginning were great. We routinely did 300. Our average order price on Amazon, average order sale on Amazon is $25. On Jett, now not as many orders, but they would routinely be $200 and $300 orders because of the way that they operate and still do. That if you bought one bar of soap for a little bit off, we'll give you another bar of soap. And if you now you have 2 bars of soap, did you want the shower gel? Did you want the talcum powder? And the more things they can tie together and put into that account, the more of a discount you get from the vendor. And Jett paid for some of that too. So it wasn't like, they don't have advertising. They don't take, they take a commission on everything, but I think for a while they were doing a discount. But basically it's about getting the biggest shopping cart full of as many products as possible. Now, Walmart bought them 2 years ago for $3 billion, I think. I don't know, some billion, $3.3 billion, I believe. A lot of money, a lot more money than I'll ever know or see or whatever. When they did that, the thought was to get, Mark was the head of the Jett thing, and now he's running Walmart's business. I think they wanted to get him and then also the technology. Now they've definitely taken him on, and he's, making his pay and everything. And I haven't seen the technology come through yet on Walmart. I believe that would be hugely impactful for Walmart in their fight against Amazon, because now they'd have this way to sell even more than Amazon does. Like Amazon, I sell 1 bar of soap. If you want another bar of soap, it's another, $10. Whereas on Jett, I might sell the first bar for 10 and then for 9, but I just sold 2 bars of soap, right? So volume, and as long as you're making money, is a great thing. But I haven't seen Walmart use that yet. Walmart is, I'm going to give you all the negatives first. Walmart is like Amazon 5-10 years ago. The interface isn't good. It's clunky. It's hard to maneuver, which is why part of the reason why we built co-merchant, so you'd have a better interface, but mostly to just leverage your all the work you've already done on Amazon, leverage it onto other platforms. And they are a big company, just like Amazon, so they have a lot of rules and they're difficult to work with, blah, 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 blah. But if you can set this up or any other channel that you sell on in a way that is low touch, so if you can use tools that take your listings off Amazon and put them on another platform, or like Joe Lister, and it's really hands off in that respect, and it's paying for itself, A, B, C, D, then it's huge. That's how you manage it. We use Amazon as our primary location. We spend most of our time there. Most of our money comes from that. But the ability to put stuff on Walmart and Bonanza and all those other places, we've made it as simple as possible with as little, said, all right, we need pictures. All right, then we'll export pictures. We need the copy, we'll export copy. We need the variations, we'll put the variation feature in. Whatever it takes to make it simple and easy. Because it should take you, I don't know, maybe 25 minutes to add a listing to Amazon. That's, I'm averaging. Sometimes it's 2 seconds. Sometimes you got to make a whole new listing. But it should only take a percentage of that time to relist it somewhere else. And a lot of people have said to me, well, how much you're going to sell on Walmart? And I was like, well, we do about 10% of what we sell on Amazon. What? Oh, is it really worthwhile? And I'm like, I don't know, 10% of $1 million would be 100,000. I'd take that money, and I would take 10% of 100,000. Yeah, it's worthwhile. It's more money, and more than anything else in an inventory-centric business, you want turnover. You want velocity. You want stuff to sell so fast that you get your money back as quickly as possible. I know in private label, that you have to find your break-even point. So at what point will is it 100 units? Is it 1,000 units? Where is my break even on my cost before I start making money? And that's any business, whether it's retail arbitrage and you have 2 units, or you have 1,000 units or 3,000 units in private label, and wholesale somewhere in the middle. You want to make that turn as quickly as possible.
Wow.
So
this is really valuable information here, guys. And basically, Jett is they're very, very good at upselling. They're like ClickFunnels, buy this, get this. Like they upsell a lot, which is really bring at the end your cart is really full of merchandise that are higher value. Even if you sell less, but you actually sell more units, which is really going to bring your profits. And I agree with you 100%. I think anybody who wants to sell on other platforms, it's an extra dollar that he didn't have. It doesn't cost you much, especially when you have those kind of tools, especially the one that you're the co-founder, co-merchant, which is really makes things a lot easier to be able to sell on other platforms like hands off. Because I think a lot of people and a lot of sellers, they're really worried about the logistics and how much work needs to be done, getting the listing done, taking the pictures and everything. To automate all that is going to make it much easier. We know about Joe Lister, but Joe Lister is also limited, and I think you guys are going into another marketplaces, which is really a big compound effect. 5% here, dollar here. A compound effect is going to make it really huge, a huge money maker at the end of the year, which is, you can pay extra inventory, or actually you can go on a very, very nice vacation in Bahamas. You can do that as well.
That's fine. You can do both.
Why not? I want to talk more about Jett and Walmart. Is it like more oriented in private label oriented, or retail arbitrage, or wholesale, or what? I mean, what do they like most? You know what I mean?
I think Jett right now, I wanted to make sure I said this, Jett has sort of been subsumed by Walmart. So 2 years ago, I was killing it on Jett. Now it's like, meh, here and there. And they got very, very picky on their product selection. We have some customers that are killing it still with what they're selling, $50,000 a month. We have other customers that have no listings anymore because Jett said, we don't want anything you have to offer. So they're very, very picky. Walmart, anything that sells on Amazon sells on Walmart.
Nice.
I think you might, I feel like a lot of the stuff we sell on Amazon is like boutique-y. That stuff doesn't translate as well onto Walmart, but all our basic goods, party goods, books, all that kind of stuff. We sell some topical creams, some health, like HB&A. That stuff moves over really well. So I feel teddy bears, slippers, all those things are, all the same things. Maybe the $125 beauty night cream I sell doesn't go over there so well, but your basic everyday things do really well.
Well, I don't know if that means that basically Jett, they just want to transition all their platform into Walmart. I don't know why they're making it really hard to get into Jett, or it's not selling as much, especially when you're a very small business, or small business compared to Amazon. I'm not saying small business for them. To be able to transition to Amazon, it's really to compete with them. I think you need more sellers. You encourage people to come on your platform to sell and more volume. So I'm not understanding why. Maybe they just want to focus more on Walmart and make sure Walmart.
I think that may be the goal. I think that may be the goal. I think that they bought Mark and that was it. So and I'm happy to see the technology go into Walmart, and then I'll feel like that was a good buy. But for $3.3 billion, it's kind of hard for me to understand how they're not moving a little faster with it.
Maybe they bought 3.3. They bought Mark.
Yeah. Mark, I wish I was worth 3.3. I'll take 0.3.
This is really, really cool.
All yours.
The other thing you said about the sales volume is basically 10%, right? 10%, 5 to 10%, depending on what you do, which is, I think it's really good. And I think Walmart is now competing a lot. We saw that in the Black Friday. They're really slashing the prices, competing with Amazon a lot, and they're doing a lot of things. So I really think I don't sell on Walmart and Jett, but I'm really, really thinking about it. When I get back to Canada, I'm actually meeting with my one of my partners who sells only on eBay, and we're thinking about expanding into Jett and Walmart. Especially came to my mind when before we prepared for this interview, which is really, really interesting to see how that goes. The other thing, do you mind if you tell me more about the process of application, how to apply to sell on Jett or Walmart, which one's easier, what's the barrier of entry, and what's any other tips that you really want to give the people about if they apply, how to apply the right way to get accepted fast?
Okay, so On Walmart, Jett is pretty straightforward. You can, the only thing that both Jett and Walmart do not want to hear is that you use FBA to fulfill. We merchant fulfill all our Walmart sales, but I know some of our customers are using multi-channel fulfillment. So they're doing it by hand. We can't facilitate that. We can facilitate the listings moving over. We can sync the inventory. We can sync pricing, but we can't automatically fulfill via FBA. But I'm pretty sure that they're doing that. And the thing is that Walmart doesn't want Amazon boxes showing up. They're happy to let you use FBA as long as it delivers on time and the boxes are blank. But since Amazon doesn't offer blank boxes anymore, there you go. To apply to Walmart is very straightforward. They used to have a requirement where you, well, they still do. You still need to be a U.S. business and have a U.S. bank account and have a U.S. returns location. Okay. They used to require, and it was sort of an unwritten rule, that you had to have several $100,000 worth of sales. And it's sort of like they didn't want to grow you. They let Amazon figure out how to sell on Amazon, then come or some other place. We don't really want to deal with that. But I think they've realized recently that they've got to have more players and more product and more opportunities. So nobody says anything outwardly, but they have intimated that they've taken that number way, way down. And actually, a couple of people I know, and I know the amount they sell, have been approved. They've taken it way, way down because they don't sell much. And so I think they're approving a lot of people. And but you might not hear for a couple weeks.
So the customer service is a little bit low compared to Amazon?
Yeah, a little bit. Well, yeah, I'm not sure Amazon's customer service is that high either, but yeah, it's even lower than that.
Response is faster, but doesn't mean they're going to sell a job low on Amazon.
Right, just to get the fast response. It doesn't make any sense, but yeah, there's that.
But I answered you. I replied.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the most important. I'm actually, that's a very good point that you brought up, is about they don't accept FBA, any box from Amazon. I understand it. Mm-hmm. So does that mean that Walmart is building their own fulfillment centers right now? Are they working with other fulfillment centers to facilitate all this process, or they just want FBM? Because FBM, if you do fulfilled by merchant or you fulfill the orders by yourself, that's also going to take time. Do they have a threshold that says, hey, only 2-day shipping or 4-day shipping or whatever the criteria is?
They have a company called Deliver with 2 R's at the end that they've been using to do fulfillment. And that's what I've heard most recently they're working with. And so that's how they're going about it. But they did have all those Sam's Clubs that they closed, and we all thought that maybe that was going to be their distribution network. I mean, they have the last mile covered. So, I'm thinking maybe it's because it's big corporate that it's taking them a little longer to get going with the whole FBA, but in my mind, they have to be. I mean, eBay just announced it, right? So if eBay is going to do it, then I've got to believe Walmart's. They just got to figure out how to figure it out. But not yet.
They're not lacking any money, Walmart. So I'm pretty sure they'll hopefully will be able to do it. It will take them a little bit of time, but I think if they partner up with other fulfillment centers or other like Deliver, I think that's going to really speed up the process, and I think they're going to be at full potential. I'm not sure. Correct me. I'm just saying what I read. Is basically in a few years, I think they'll be able to catch up in the speed of delivery, because what Amazon has, the edge, is besides its customer number one is delivery time, which is important. So I'm hoping that happens. But do you think in a few years, Walmart and Jett will be able to catch up with Amazon in delivery speed and speed of delivery? All right, so we're back now. What we're talking about, Barbara, is basically about Amazon. If they don't have any more fulfillment centers, I'm thinking about in 2 years, what do you expect is going to happen? Do you think Walmart will be able to catch up with Amazon, especially in speed of delivery for third-party sellers? Are they going to have their own fulfillment center, or are they going to deal with other fulfillment centers that they have that speed? Especially now, Amazon is basically letting USPS like kind of they're not doing much business with them, or FedEx now they're not working, Amazon not working with FedEx anymore. Do you think they'll be able, Walmart, to be able to take that infrastructure that already built for them to expand and to be able to little bit catch up with Amazon a bit at least?
I think what they, well, it's interesting now that FedEx isn't with Amazon. I see them going over and developing that relationship with Walmart more fully, whereas before I think they were precluded from doing that. So I think that's, we're going to see FedEx going over to Walmart, which is going to be a big boon for them. And that's probably a component, maybe I just thought of this, maybe that's a thing that's been a problem for them, is they haven't been able to get a partnered carrier to inbound ship for them the same way Amazon has, and now they can do that. So it'll be FedEx and Walmart against Amazon and UPS. So we'll see. But I can't see Walmart competing with Amazon without this facility. This capability.
I'm with you 100%. I think the platform itself can be improved. There's no doubt. I think they will be able to catch up. It's just, you know, as I was saying before, is Amazon has the edge over the customer experience and customer relation, always putting the customer first, and then is basically having a huge of sellers and also delivery, which is really fast. Now they have 1-day shipping, which is really great for a lot of people. Actually, when I was in New York, when I used to work in construction, they used to have 4 hours to 6 hours delivery.
Yeah, somebody was telling me they live in California, they get same day. I'm like, that was, you know, that's amazing. It's almost like, could you just put a printer in my office and just makes the thing and sticks it in my hand right now? That's maybe that's 20 years from now.
And imagine the drone is not there yet. Imagine the drone's out there. You order it, it's already.
Yeah, a friend of mine's in Jacksonville and he has this huge patio. I said, yeah, the drone's gonna land for you and fill your drink up.
All right. You know what? Before we go into your software, I really want to learn more about it. I would like to give us a demo if you can. Just give us any last tips. Do you recommend people selling at Walmart and Jett? Any tips that you want to give to beginners for diversifying their business model and making sure that they sell on other platforms, just in case something happens to them, like getting suspended, or anything could happen with Amazon. As you know, they can't suspend you for anything. It could be counterfeit claim, it could be another seller hating on you. So any other last tips before we go into co-merchant, because I really want to learn more about it. And also we have a special, which is at the end, which is we're going to give our members. So please go ahead and let us know, what do you think?
Well, I think I learned the lesson myself pretty succinctly, is that you can get suspended at any time and you need to have a backup plan. My motto now is 10% today for tomorrow. So yeah, I might have a great private label product, but I'm working on the next one. Or I might have a good relationship with this vendor, but I'm going to work on another one. I might have a good thing going with Amazon, but I've got to have something else on the side, some other stream of income in case that fails. Because if you are not building today for tomorrow, and and everything falls down and you've got nothing to rely on, you're in deep, in a bad spot. You're in deep trouble. So I would say to everybody, you don't have to carve out a huge amount of time. You just have to start working on it a little bit at a time. Never ever say, oh, I'll never get in trouble with Amazon, because you don't know what the next rule is going to be. They could start saying you have to sell to us so we can sell at whatever price, and then that could be very problematic. I don't like that new rule where that could go. So you've got to think, you don't know what you don't know. You've got to plan for it.
We're playing in their field, so we need to expect anything. We have no control as much as we think, especially when the money's coming in. We think they were invincible, that, hey, nobody can touch us. They love us because we're making the money, but they have, millions of sellers that they really sell over their hundreds of thousands of sellers that sell on their platform. So they always have alternatives, and there's always a new seller that will be able to fill your space. So that's really great. Barbara, I'll leave you the rest of this interview to give us more about your co-merchant. We want to learn more about it. Give us the features, give us a demo if you can, and let's see what this tool, which is I'm really, really excited about.
Okay. So I'm going to give you a little bit of the background on co-merchant and sort of give everybody an idea. I'm not that familiar with where is it?
It's the middle one. There's
oh, there's the share. Okay, it's green. I'm looking at the little people going, what's that? All right.
For sure it's not me, it's little.
All right, I want to put that on this screen. Can you see that, co-merchant?
Yes.
Okay, make it big. There we go. All right, so that's good. So we've talked about this a little before, so I'm going to go through these slides pretty quick. But Brian and myself started this as an answer to the fact that we could get suspended at any time. At the time, there weren't any viable alternatives. There are a few other companies now doing this as well that were like reasonable. And I think we're the lowest cost provider at the moment. And that could change if someone decides to go free, but we're pretty economical. And the way the co-merchant works is it takes all your information from Amazon, it downloads the catalog, and then you can see if you follow the blue circle to the right, it does a category match. Sometimes sometimes category might be new to us and you might have to do a little bit of manual. It uploads it to Jett and the Walmart catalog. And then once the product sells, it tells co-merchant to let the customer know or let the seller know that they need to ship something out, or if they do it via FBA. Because at one point, Jett, you could do all through FBA. You didn't even have to touch anything. But now that's somewhat fluid, let's put it that way. You don't have to, I'm sorry, just going back to that slide, you don't have to acknowledge the order because Jett requires and Walmart require you to acknowledge the order within 15 minutes of receiving it. So we handle all that. And we make sure that there's inventory and that the pricing's in sync as well. So standard features, we auto-synchronize your inventory. If you have 100 units on Amazon, we'll make sure you have 100 units on Walmart and Jett. If one sells, we automatically decrement it so you never go into an oversold state. If you want your pricing to sync, which used to be a huge issue for Amazon, now they're sort of opening that up a little bit. We auto-synchronize your pricing. You just tell us which ones you want or all of them. We have built-in shipping, so you don't have to copy and paste anything over to stamps.com. We've got a advantaged pricing for shipping, so you can literally just click on the order, hit the shipping just like you do in Amazon. We help you with onboarding, get you all set up, so it's super easy. You can have as many people use the software as you want. We don't price on how many orders you get. A lot of companies say the more orders you get, we get a fee, a % of revenue or something like that. We're just one flat fee. We do have a little setup cost because both platforms are kind of clunky, and we might have to make sure everything connects and syncs in together. I mean, in fact, on Jett, you do need a third party to list. On Walmart, you can do it yourself, but it is, like I said, pretty clunky. We can facilitate multi-warehouse. So if you've got, and on Jett, that's pretty important because where the stuff is located, if you're merchant fulfilling, is really important to how many sales you get. We bulk uploading, email support. We're local in the United States. We have VA staff that if you don't want to do anything, they'll do the whole thing for you and keep uploading all your new listings. And do variations, and we also support MAP if you've got that relationship with your vendors. Again, I'm trying to go through this very quickly in the interest of time. It's very easy to use. That was a real issue for me. I didn't want it, as I hate tedious. So we need to have something that works very easily and doesn't require a lot of input on my end or my VA's end. It can't be expensive because we're just facilitating the relisting and sales. We're not actually making any magic here. Like, with PPC, I guess there's something to be said on, there's some kind of art, but in relisting, there really isn't. And it's a seller-based, not software perspective. So it's everything, since we're sellers, we wanted it to be the perspective of someone selling something, not some of the software I've seen. It's like, you have to figure out what they're saying before you can use it. And again, no revenue-based sharing, no long-term contracts. You can cancel anytime. This is our roadmap. We built Jett first, then we went to Walmart, and then we did some enhancements with the shipping. We were going to do eBay, Google, and social next, but in its place now, we've done EZKey, which is automated keywording service. So if you know anything about private label, they generally spend a lot of time optimizing and customizing their listings. We were kind of jealous of that because I knew when I did it on my wholesale items, and I've got like over 1,000 listings, they would immediately sell. but it was just so time consuming. So we made a version of this that looks at 10 to 20 competitors, gathers all the keywords, cleans them up, and then puts them in your back-end search terms. Super easy, super low cost, and just seen amazing results with that too. So that took the place of the eBay development. We will begin eBay development probably the end of this year, once we've ascertained that they are done with their, at least a big done on their algorithm change. They're figuring out how to be more Amazon-like. So we didn't want to get in the middle of that with all the programming and then have to throw it all away and start over. And this is some of the other things we do too. All right, let me.
This is not an easy tool, huh? There's a lot of good features and a lot of good things that really, I think a lot of sellers are going to make it very easy for them to sell on other platforms. All they need to do is basically getting approved in those platforms, and then they'll be able to sell through the software, which is really automate a lot. And I think when eBay comes to it, and I know before we, behind the scenes, before we came live, we're talking about why eBay wasn't there, because with algorithm change and a lot of things that eBay are doing right now to be like Amazon, which is, I think, you're gonna have a big edge on any other software that they're not thinking this way. They're always thinking about the big things, the big Amazon, and not thinking about the other platforms that are really coming behind the scenes, which is really amazing. I'm actually very intrigued, and I think when it comes eBay, it's the second largest platform on online business. I think it's going to be huge. So I'm really excited about that. I have a few questions for you before you show us the demo. Is about how quick is the syncing to sync? Yes.
The price, let me think. The inventory syncing, the problem with Walmart is it works in a batch mode. So we sync with Amazon every 10 to 15 minutes, and then in turn sync to Walmart in batches. So we do the batches, I think, every hour. So there is a little lag, but because of that issue. But I think in the 3 years I've been doing it, I've only ever had one fail. Like, it's like, oh, we don't have any more of that. I have to cancel an order. But I don't think that's a bad. So the amount of units and things we've sold has not been horrible.
That's inventory syncing to make sure that if people who does understand, if you have
and price syncing too. So yeah,
pricing and also inventory syncing. So if you have 10 units and you're selling maybe 3 in Jett or Walmart, right away we'll take it away from inventory and Amazon. Right. Make sure everything is synced.
And the issue I had is someone went on Jett, they went on Walmart, they went on eBay, and they went on Amazon and to buy some beauty product I had, and they bought them all. Of course, they were all the same units, so I didn't have 10, 10, 10, 10. I only had 10. I didn't have 40. So that was the issue I had, is that they went faster than the software could keep up, because, you know, as soon as they were processed, they just moved to the next platform. So that's a downside, I guess. But
well, and you guys, you mentioned something about you have like a team that can set up the whole thing for you for a fee, right? Like,
we have a virtual assistant team that will actually go into your Amazon and get your products. So they'll go and say, all right, they have new products. We'll import the new products into Walmart and get them listed every day. So you don't have to touch anything. Because a lot of our customers do a lot of wholesale, and they don't want to be bothered with even doing that much. They just want somebody else to do it. Go do this, do my variation listings, do everything for me.
That's not that's many of them. One of them is
yeah, I know. I'm only one of those likes to work on everything, but yeah, so I'm usually the guinea pig, and I'm like, this is too hard, make this easier.
And that's what my point I wanted to reach is actually you're building a software from a seller to a seller. So sellers for sellers, because you are already doing this business. You don't want something clunky. You have seen use other softwares, and you're making it easier for you to understand and to make it easier for other people who really not tech savvy. They don't understand much about softwares. Honestly, I know nothing. Like me, just to be able to do Zoom or sync my encoder or my software for YouTube, it took me maybe a week to figure it out. Even that I have and I look smart, but it's not.
I have the same thing. And my business partner is like Techno King. So he's always like, what's the problem? Like, what's the matter? I'm like, this is too hard. I don't want to be bothered remembering the 10-step process. He goes, it's so easy. You just do this, 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 and this. I'm like, it's too much work. It's too tedious. Too much work.
That's Mandarin. Oh, okay, I understand.
Yeah. Like when we were doing EZKeys, like you can just load a flat file. I'm like, I hate flat files. I only have to do that if I have to do flat files. It should be easier. It should be quick, click, click. So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Okay, so I'll let you continue. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to catch.
Oh, no worries.
Or move
I'm
on.
going to log into co-merchant. Oh, I'm already logged in. So this is Walmart. And
It's still not
basically,
showing. I will wait until it shows. I still see the PowerPoint, right? So PowerPoint, right? We're still talking about the PowerPoint.
oh, maybe I have to show a new screen. Hang on a second. Thank you. Okay. So we started out here, and then I just went over to view products. It's going to load in a second. Oh, I guess you got to fix something. Let's tell the VA. For example, here is, so all these published ones are everything I'm selling on Walmart, right? So if you go, we can go and click on something. Let's try this guy. And there you can see it. That's what it looks like on Walmart. Very, very simple, easy to sell. Looks, you can see the bullets are down here. They're exactly the same that they were on Amazon. Just simple cut, like just basically the tool is cutting and pasting for you. But let's say I want to add a product. Let's look at this one. So I want to update or do something. Our software is very similar to Amazon because we didn't want everybody to have to learn a new, okay. So we tried, without like infringing on any IP or anything on Amazon's end, we tried to make something that was easy and navigable, just like you would expect in Amazon. So you got your basic listing, you've got Walmart fortunately only has like 10 categories versus Amazon's 10 billion categories. So it's pretty easy to pick the category that makes sense. And you can literally go in and add a product just like this. I'm going to actually show you. We'll add a product, and I'm going to do, these are the top categories. Very, very simple. I'll do health and beauty. I'll add some hand soap. Oops. Unfortunately, can't get in there because our faces are in the way. There it is. Okay. And then I would put my SKU in, and we usually put, we sell for some other clients, so I usually put that in there to denote me. I usually make a cost, whatever, just that. Product title, hand soap. Pick my category, pick my UPC code. I'm just going to grab one here that just popped up. Pick the brand, make it happy, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then you would go and do pricing, and in pricing you can put your price. You can put a map price so that you won't go below that, and sort of like protects you. You put your tax code in, all the same things.
And the system
right?
knows about the mapping, right?
Excuse me?
Like if you put the minimum price of 30, the system wouldn't go lower than that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Put your, just, the same way you do a standard basic, add your images. This is the part to do the variation when you get there, etc. So nothing really crazy. And that's if you just wanted to do one by hand. But obviously, I've already done all this in Amazon. I don't want to do, here and there maybe for stuff that I can't sell on Amazon, I might do this process. But in reality, what I'll do is I'll do an export from Amazon. I will download the file, and hopefully this works because it might be, I wrote not in Walmart, so we'll see how it works. It's going to have to open Excel. It's going to take a second.
So basically,
Now,
that's something very important. I think people also, as a big selling point, is a lot of new sellers, beginners, they have a lot of restrictions on selling on Amazon because of all the restrictions. They love restrictions. They love gating. Even if you get ungated, you will get gated after a few sales sometimes. I think this is a really good place where you can sell unrestricted product, which is less competition. You will sell through
Right.
the volume is not the same, but you will sell at least you don't get stuck with the products that you have.
Mm-hmm.
This is really cool.
And let me enable editing. And then you get a file. Basically, it's your file of all the product that's on Amazon that you have yet to put into Walmart. It takes down the SKU, the ASIN, the UPC code, the product name, the category. On Amazon, we guess the product category on Walmart for you. In this case, it's fine. In some cases, it may be a little strange and you have to add the category in. Not hard to do. Tells you how many units we have, brand, etc., all the data. And then what you don't see here is, and here's all the images. So you basically got all the data. You can, and we ask everybody, like, just go take a look at it. Make sure you've got the brands in there. Make sure you've got the missing, like, this one wouldn't go up because it doesn't have a UPC code. So we have to go fix, actually, yeah, you'd have to put the UPC code in here from your product. But for the most part, we get 95% of all the data. And then you might just have to tweak a few things. A lot of our clients just say, take the attitude that, listen, I'll take whatever I get down, that's fine, and upload whatever's available, and that's my, 10% today for tomorrow.
Wow.
All right.
I mean, this is very impressive, honestly. It looks, I know a little bit for first time, maybe people will feel that, oh, well, it's a lot of work, but it's actually not much, because that's the same thing we do, your PPC ad reports, you download them, you become very familiar. I love the fact that you've made it very kind of similar to the back end of Amazon, which makes it very easy for people to navigate, especially when they're used to that specific platform, to be able to transition very quickly. And this is really cool. My question, actually, this is my question. If you get a price list from a wholesaler, basically, and you can upload the same Excel sheet here very quickly.
Absolutely. Yeah, you totally could. Yeah. Because once you've done that editing and review, which you, again, a lot of our customers just take down whatever comes through is fine, send it back up. I'm not going to do any editing. But we want to give you the opportunity to fix or adjust or add in there. But yeah, you could totally just take that whole format and add your stuff right below it and work out fine. Wow. And then to send it back in, you just import the file. Oh, I've got a few error logs, some of the things didn't work. But you just pick the file that you want, and we've just saved the one we did, right? And click on whatever it is. And then you upload it. And what happens is it populates, come on, all the product in here. And then you do what you need to do in terms of that. Like sometimes Walmart won't take the product for whatever reason. They do have some restrictions, but basically, that's the whole thing. And then when you get the orders, you can simply click on the order ID, by shipping, and then you just put in your weights and stuff. And this, since we've done this one a number of times, it'll automatically give me the shipping information. You handle returns in this button. Very, very simple. There aren't 85 pages of analytics. There's not a lot of bells and whistles. Again, this is just a tool for us to get our stuff off the one platform onto the other platform, and add some of the products that were precluded from selling onto the other platform. Keep it, super simple.
Less is more in many things, right? So
well, for this kind of application, 90% of my time is spent on Amazon. Yeah. I have 10% left to spend elsewhere. So it needs to be as simple and efficient as it can be.
I agree with you 100%.
And low cost. Yeah, obviously it doesn't cost me anything, but whatever I do, I don't want it to be expensive. I don't want to give percent of revenue.
It's a small fee, and it's worth it 100%. And actually led me to the question about commission fees for Walmart and Jett. Is the same thing as Amazon, except for groceries, I believe?
I think so, yeah. I think groceries, Amazon just changed it, but I don't think Walmart did or Jett did. They used to be 8%. I think they're still there. I think Amazon just took up those fees again.
Amazon loves it.
We don't do a lot of groceries, so I'm not that in tune with it, but with what Amazon did this week.
This is really, really cool tool, honestly. I think it's very, very easy, simple. I don't think you need to be a big, huge tech guy. I think a lot of softwares, they're more oriented because the people who build them are not really good. They're not sellers themselves, so they're more techie guys. So they think a lot of things and just confuse the simple sellers who just started this business. And even seasoned sellers, it's very hard to look at multiple softwares. Enough, we have maybe 10, 20 software at a time just to operate our business. So adding another one is just going to be really big. I know you wanted to talk about EZKey. If you can show us the tool, if you want, is about all the keywords that you can add in the backend.
Okay. Let's see. Let me know if you can see this screen.
The PowerPoint.
It's another PowerPoint. I'm trying to get it onto the.
I see it.
Can you see it?
Yes, benefit of
Okay.
keyword in the listing.
Yeah. So, and again, I'll go through this fairly quickly too in the interest of time, but so I want to give you sort of the genesis of why we have EZKey and how important it is. So we were doing a lot of RA and, you know, what I would do, and a lot of wholesale, and what I would do after a while, if it didn't sell, I would just start discounting it. So after 30 days, we drop it a little bit. After 60 days, we drop it a little bit more. After 90 days, we'd start dropping it, you know, almost to break even. And as we got closer and closer to long-term storage fees, we'd almost be losing money just to get rid of it. I didn't want it back. But I found that if I keyworded them, after I started doing private label and I started doing these huge, you know, branded buys, I was like, I have too many of these to lose the money. How can I do this? So I started optimizing them and doing the keywording and doing images. So we tried to do that to all the RA and wholesale. And the problem was it worked, but we couldn't get it done as fast. You know, like I have 10 times as many, I have 1,000 units of one thing in private label, but, you know, 10 units of everything else across, you know, 800,000 listings. So then we decided what we'll do. We'll just keyword things. So I had my VA using Helium-10 and use some Google AdWords and finding the words that would make sense for other similar products and cutting and pasting them in and, you know, collating them, doing all stuff. Took forever. And that's when we started thinking about how can we do this faster, because we knew that if we had the top 100, you know, if we made like, say like shower gel, right? We knew if we had shower gel, it would sell X number of units. But if we had bath in there and we had cleansing and we had body wash, it was going to sell even more. And that's why we had tested this and saw that it worked. And it was just a matter of how to do this quickly, cheaply, and efficiently. For example, there's 9,400 searches a month for shower gel, but 115,000 searches for a body wash. And if you missed body wash in your listing, you missed 115,000 plus chances to get sold. If you miss the word women, you've missed chances to get sold. And what we know, most listings that you add on to with RA and wholesale are 16 ounce shower gel, strawberry, you know.
Very optimized, you mean?
Yeah, really ridiculous. Like one picture and you're like, wow, how could this have a good ranking? When I bought this, it seemed like a good ranking, but why isn't this selling? And it's, you know, it just, sometimes things have good rankings and they go left and you don't know why. So we knew that this worked and we had seen it on our private label and our branded products, but we just couldn't figure out how to apply it. And like I said, this was our process. It took us like 1 to 2 hours listing to really get the proper keywords in there. And then when you multiply that by 1,000 times, and you were always adding new products. So it's always this like churn where we're, you know, like a mile behind and not running anywhere near fast enough to keep up with it. And, you know, again, being forced to discount and do advertising and all this other stuff just to get the product to move. And again, discount, donate, or destroy. And I wasn't liking any of these alternatives because I'm already giving Amazon 15%. Why do I have to give them even more money to lose money selling these things off? So then we started, so I was complaining. I have a special secret tool. It's called my complaining tool. And I complained to my business partner that this thing works and it's amazing, but I can't get it fast enough. And I'm so frustrated. And probably by the third time I complained, he thought, I can automate that. We already have the API built for co-merchant. I could totally automate it for EZKey. And I was like, okay. So we did beta tests last fall. We had really, really good results. And basically, it's a very simple platform. You go in, you click the ones that you want to EZKey. It goes out and compares it to 10 to 20 competitors, gets all their keywords back, eliminates like Nike and Adidas and all the big brand names, gets rid of any repeats, puts them in strongest to least strongest order, and then takes the 249 characters and puts them, and with one more click, puts them in the back end search terms. And we've seen, well, I've seen personally, but you know, I'm biased, but we've seen from some of our customers that they've seen huge improvements. And again, it's not magical. It's just trying to find a way to make time work for you. One of our customers had a product selling 6 to 8 units a day. When they did EZKey, they realized how many keywords they had overlooked. they put them in their back end search terms, and they went to 30 to 35 because they weren't hitting all those different words because they were looking at their product in one way. But the competitors' products were very similar to theirs and had been looking at it in a different way. So like, again, like I saw it immediately. I did it with 50 of my really old stale listings, and in an hour, 10 of them sold. And then over the next week or so, some more sold. And I was like, this is much better than paying for advertising and discounting my products. So this is when we have a new account management client. The first thing we do is EZKey their entire listing. And then we start fixing any bad feedback and all that kind of stuff. It's our first like pass to try to get more visibility and get them selling faster.
I agree with you 100%. I think keyword optimization is the most important thing that you do to your listing to bring traffic, because if you're not using the right keywords, you're losing a lot of sales. As you showed there, like we have 115,000 search volume for specific keyword. If you didn't have a woman there, you would lose the whole traffic that's going to come in. And I think because of all the retail online arbitrage, even when I started, I didn't know nothing about keywords. I didn't understand them. It was very hard for me to go ahead and do the whole process as if I was doing for private label. So all the tools out there, like Helium 10, you have Helium 10, you have Viral Launch. They're more specialized for private label that you can do one listing at a time, but to have a lot, that's really hard. Hey guys, I'm very sorry for interruption, but then we had some technical difficulties that with the sound for the last few minutes. So I will take it from here to make sure that you guys really understand everything clearly, and you'll be able to understand the last aspect of that segment of that video, just to make sure that you really guys see what's going on, and also at the same time we can get the most out of this last few slides. So I'll take it from that slide. So let me just switch to it. So basically here, Barbara, which was very kind, and I hope you guys like the content so far. I hope you guys really like the whole content that she put up, which is, I think it's amazing for people who would like to expand and diversify their business and make sure that they have multiple channels to sell their products, which is really good, which is something I will be doing very soon, and I hope you guys do the same. So basically we're talking about the EZKey software that she has. She has a beautiful software that she has two of them, which is the co-merchant and the EZKey. The co-merchant is the one that you'll be able to list all your products from Amazon to Jett and Walmart, and very easy, has a very good platform. As you saw, is very easy to list things, which is, she gave us a small tutorial, which is, I really hope you guys really go ahead and check it out. And also she was very generous to give us those giveaways at the end, which is really generous of her. So thank you, Barbara, for doing that. So before we go into this, I would like to talk about the last slide she has. So she has subscriptions. She has 3 levels, which is basic, plus, and professional. She was recommending for people who have a lot of units or they have a lot of listings, they can start with the professional, and once they get everything listed properly, then they'll be able to switch to to a plan that fits their needs the best, whether it's the basic or plus, which is a really good thing. So the professional, it's $119 per month or $1,142 annually, and the plus for $69 per month or $662 annually. And also if you have the small one for small sellers, they can start with $29 per month or $279 annually. Now she was very generous to give us 15% of that, 15% discount for our members. So please go ahead and check it out. And also for people who doesn't have the time and really want to, they have a big store and they don't want to set up the whole thing by themselves, they have for a small fee, they'll be able to set up the whole thing for you, and they will make sure that you'll be ready to go. So if you have 1,000 SKU, whatever it is, they'll be able to go ahead and set up the whole thing for you, which makes it very easy, and you start from there and you start doing things by yourself later on. But a beautiful, beautiful service. I think it's a very small fee that you can go ahead and reach out to her at sales@comerchant.com, which is where you can reach her and make sure Barbara takes care of her clients and for her people really, really well. She's very humble, beautiful person. I really, really enjoyed my interview with her, and I hope we have her again on the channel again. So, and also where we have here, she was very generous to give us plus the 15% that she's willing to give us on the EZKey, which is, that's why this page
or the slide is going to be about how you claim your trade show journal. She has a trade show journal that she has created, which is very, very useful. It's one of those I would like to have myself. She will send me one, which is I'm very, very grateful for it. It's basically a trade show journal where if you go to a shows or you go ahead and contact suppliers or wholesale suppliers, whatever it is, you know exactly what you want to write, what the questions, what they have told you, everything nicely written. You'll be able to have a folder, or you have a journal that has all the contact information and the details about the supplier that you just spoke to. As I mentioned before, when I went to ASD, which is the show for all suppliers and wholesalers, it was very overwhelming for me to go ahead and just find, hey, you get overwhelmed about who's the supplier, what kind of questions, what they said, and you just get lost. You're gonna have a lot of cards and you don't know what's going on. So this is going to make your life very easy, and you'll be able to organize yourself, because if you're organized, trust me, you're going to find the best deals and you'll be able to follow up with those people very, very, very well. At the end, she was really happy. I didn't know about it. She's giving us 5 winners that will be selected. They will give us 5 trade show journals that will ship out to you for free, out of charge, as long as you live in the USA. So how you claim that, which is we're going to do it within 10 to 14 days from releasing that video. Please just comment and like this video. I hope you guys really find the value in it. Comment anything nice, just give me that journal, or hey, I would like to have it, or whatever it is. And also I'm gonna have a link below where you can go ahead and enter you opt in, enter your name and your email, and we'll select the winner automatically, which is gonna make everything very, very easy for us and easy to select, instead of just people who like or not comment. I don't know. Just go ahead and sign up for it. The link is gonna be below, and you just click it and I will select the winner at the end. And also, as I said, we'll ship it to them for free. And also, if you want to sign up for the EZKey for 15% and claim that, it's not affiliate link. I have nothing. I have no affiliate. I'm not going to make a dime of it. I'm just doing it because I really believe it's a very good tool to have, especially the co-merchant. So if you have really retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, wholesale, and you want to do a big listings as a bulk keywords, that's a very cool tool, which is specifically made for that, which is also you can use for Amazon if you want it, but it's a really good feature. You can go to comerchant.com//EZKey and then enter the coupon FBAGEZ15, where you can claim your 15%. And at the end, guys, if you really wanted to reach out to Barbara Boschen, so as you see that she has her co-merchant, she's the co-founder of comerchant.com, EZKey, and you can find her at barbara@comerchant.com, and you also sign up for the EZKey from comerchant.com//EZKey. So guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for staying. Thank you so much for following. I hope you guys like the content so far. Please subscribe, like the video, just to let me know what kind of video that you guys really like. By liking them, I'll be able to do some videos similar to the one that you like, so I know exactly what you guys need. So I'll make sure that you really you benefit and add value to you, especially in where you are exactly in your journey, which is important to me. And also, if you want, just hit the notification bell, so every time I come out or every time we come with the content, you will be the first one to get it. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you guys having a killer week. Take care, everybody.